And there's no storm today, so we might have higher internet levels, Stuart. He says, and then suddenly the house gets pushed over by a tornado. If I suddenly do this, you'll know why.
You should just tilt your camera now. There you go.
You can do the exact same thing, just move the table.
What? I mean, I can kind of. Anyway, bye guys.
Great. If I do that, then look, movie magic, Stuart. Movie magic.
It's incredible. That's incredible.
So it's the lo-fi thing I've ever done in my life. I bumped my table.
Welcome back, guys. Sorry you had to,
endure.
Put up with all that, but anyway.
Oh, that's what you're here for, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We're here today to talk about things.
And bobs.
Bits and bobs.
And I'm getting pictures right now of sort of all the different story threads.
Ooh, okay.
And it's remarkable because they're all like distinct, and it's remarkable how many there are, and that's kind of the problem. It's a good thing, and it's a problem. It's a thingabum.
A lot of people were surprised there's only 10 episodes based on our title. People were saying 11, but IMDb's including episode 1 of season 2, and other people were like, I thought there was 13, and everybody's saying, oh, I don't know, it's got to be 20 or 26 at least. It's like, yeah, well.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we sort of like this is a chunk of our lives that we've got booked. So I think we're more aware than most. This is like, 10 weeks begin now.
Yep.
We're more into that. But that's amazing to me that people would think it's TNG 26. I mean, I'd love that, but it ain't that.
No. And well, we'll get into the discussion. I think, with the way they're playing it out, we're gonna have to. More would be better.
Yes.
But
I keep finding bloody screen. There's so many things. It's remarkable.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying too it's going to be like a mini series that each season's going to expand on the same story, and I'm thinking probably not, but I hope each season is its own self kind of contained thing. Personally,
it's annoying. We're watching Babylon 5 right now in preparation for a convention that I'm working at, and to see the artistry of how that's constructed, both in single episode stories, season arcs, and multi-season arcs, and overall franchise arcs, it's all completely connected.
Yeah.
And then to watch this, it's not quite connected.
And Dan23 says, I thought from the beginning they said it was going to be like a movie in 10 parts. And in which case, yeah, it's probably a 2.5 hour plot that they're stretching out.
Because it's definitely not a good movie so far. You know what I mean? Like,
if it was movie length, this would have been what? First couple episodes would have been first 20 minutes would have been fine.
Yeah.
Don't you have to share this video around though?
I do. I could. Should I?
You probably should.
Okay. Bye.
And I can tell the peoples. So 96 of you here. That is awesome, guys. Welcome. Hopefully we get up to 200 or so. But anyway, in the meantime, guys, you know the routine. If you want to talk about this particular topic, the best way to do that is super chat. Send a super chat. We will see it and read it and talk about it on air. Or you can help us the other ways. There's PayPal, there's Patreon, which is fantastic. All the links to those are down below. So you can help us out in multiple different ways. And it also gets your voice heard as far as chatting with our community. I mean, we have the regular chat. You guys usually talk amongst yourselves in there, which is great. We can't, see everything that's in there usually when we're discussing things, and it's kind of going by pretty quick. So a great way to do it is to catch our attention with super chats. It helps you be part of the community and get your voice heard and all that jazz. You know the routine. Mark Lawrence knows the routine. He just put in a super chat. So did Squadra Course. I mean, you guys are awesome. The regulars that come in and super chat with us. So we really appreciate that. And anyone that's new here, make sure you hit the like button. Well, all of you, whether you're new here or not, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe as well. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button and the all notifications thing. You know the drill. It is what it is. And, I say it every week, or every day, pretty much. Ooh. My sweetheart got me sweet tarts. Yeah. Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, when Samuel gets back from sharing that around, we will be talking about today's topic, and that is 10 episodes enough for Trekyards? Yeah, 10 episodes enough for Trekyards. No, for Picard. We're going to talk about the pacing, all the story arcs, and whether 10 episodes is good. So far with 3 in, as I just said to Dan in the chat there, it does seem like a movie plot that's been stretched into 10 parts, and they're really not moving as quickly as they probably should, but it's worth a discussion anyway, so that's what we're here to do, is to talk about it and kind of get a feel for our thoughts on it, at least, and also your thoughts, so please be sure to have your voice heard.
And do let us know if you like our audio levels. As we say, OBS kind of keeps shifting based on Skype. They're not quite connecting as well as they used to together. So let us know if we sound good together. We hope we are.
I think we sound good together. We're a good team, you and I.
That's why even this many years in.
Even when we annoy each other, which does happen occasionally, but it's fine.
And it's kind of, considering how many Trek YouTubers are out there, there's none that are a pair. We've balanced 2 personalities in a system and 2 financials, showing one source for this many years, with all the other people just a single voice, a single unified, but one dimension. That's their opinion. Okay, great, but we have to balance it out. We have to, that's good. You get a whole different experience here.
Mm-hmm. I agree. We have a host. Our first one is Mark Lawrence puts in $5. The higher the budget, the fewer the episodes. Isn't that kind of backwards, though? The problem is it's the new form of storytelling. All of the new shows tend to have this kind of, structure, and it's just the way things are going right now. So,
and it is kind of a way of losing that momentum, losing that direct storytelling, because you've now got this much larger format. You don't have to be concise. The Orville, was that 13 episodes? Was that 12?
I think it was 13.
But that was episodic, and they each felt more memorable and more like, here is an episode, go watch and enjoy, you're done.
At the end of the season, it feels like you've seen a lot more of the characters because it is episodic.
Yes.
Whereas the way to tell these, it just seems like there's nothing there after you've seen a few episodes. It's like,
and part of the trade-off for less episodes should be longer episodes. Discovery Season 1 was 40 minutes, and did not do good for their vibe. Season 2 was anything between 42 to 58. So if you're going to have, when you're on set on the chateau, you can do one more day or whatever set of shooting just character-based stuff that can give you maybe 4 minutes of screen time. Just write that in, cut some holograms and give us more character stuff, but that's meaningful. They are padding sort of character stuff that's not as meaningful, but I'd rather see 50-minute tales than 40-minute Trek episodes in such a short. They're trying to do things, but they limit themselves to it. So it's a strange set.
And Matthew Lally says, what gets me is why Picard is a 4-pip admiral in the flashbacks. Surely he wouldn't go from captain to 4-pip. No, admirals have 4 pips on each side. So there's the pip bar on each side. So is it 8-pip admiral, I guess? They're double good as a captain.
But which version of admiral is that? Rear admiral or?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if they get into all that with the ranking system.
I assume it's just the main admiral. That's what we tend to see with Dougherty and stuff. It was just just the default double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squadra Course says it's $1.99. It says first super chat.
Oh.
Ooh, but you weren't.
Well.
Lawrence scooped you.
You can both share.
True. You both win. Yay.
Thank you.
And Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $1.99 and says 50 likes. Say hi to the Admiral. Again at 100. Hashtag make me pay. Hello, Admiral Sylvia.
Hi, guys.
There you go. You missed it, Samuel. When she came home, she handed me this. My sweetheart got me sweet tarts.
I could take that somewhere else as well.
But you're not going to.
Okie
We're going
dokie.
to move along and go to the next super chat. Eugene puts in 1,500 rubles. It's amazing.
Dude!
10 episodes is not enough for a Star Trek season, but it is too much for Picard. The show is overproduced, over-advertised, but story and writing is an afterthought. You see it in how the pilot is stretched over 3 episodes, maybe like Mando, originally a movie. But yeah, ties in with what Dan23 said there. A movie story stretched into 10 parts. And from what we've seen and the pacing, I can buy that. They're not, like I said earlier, they're drip feeding us the plot. And there's a lot of filler, I think. Just get on with it. You have a story to tell. Get your asses out there. And there's going to be a lot more boring stuff to come, I think, unfortunately.
Get your ass to Mars.
No to Free Cloud. What is wrong with you? Pay attention.
Also, Eric Petrowski says, very excited to be here for the first time when it's actually live. Love what you guys do.
Hello, welcome. Glad you're here.
Now, I do think, though, that we've heard from a few people telling us, anyway, that they did confirm that this is meant to be a 2-part episode. They made it 3 to get more character stuff. But I wonder, they didn't, whereas in Discovery, when they realised they were reshifting the storyline for Season 1 so drastically, they had to commission more episodes, which is a heavy, money suck, but it meant we got more story. But if they've turned 3 episodes into 2, or 2 into 3... does that mean it was originally a 9-episode season, or they had to cut down story in the other half of the season? Because you can't just, lose an important story episode to gain a padded partial story episode. That doesn't quite form, And also mentioned Mandalorian about how that was very slow, but it was so dripping in atmosphere, and the character and lack of character really drew you in. Whereas this is a very, very vivid universe. They're referencing so many things, they're linking so many things. It's so dense, and yet it's all surface level dense, which makes it feel hollow so far. Whereas they should have focused on several, and I guess I've got pictures so we can look at some of the plot lines that they've just thrown at us. But they focused on less and evolved it throughout the show, but it's like they're staying still, introducing us to big things, and then staying still, even though you should be, evolving through them. If they knew this was going to be successful and you couldn't not be, why not save the Borg cube and have Daj die, then reveal the Borg cube in episode 2, and then you go to the Borg cube in episode 3, and then that would have been a great reveal, built in as we go. Start with just a very small story with Picard and the news and the Admiral. That'd be episode 1, and then episode 2 you reveal the Borg cube, then 3 you reveal the.
I have no issue with them in that situation saying, yes, they're married in pairs. She probably has a twin, and be this whole, does she have a twin? Where is the twin? Kind of like what Doug Drexler wanted to do for Enterprise, where have whisperings of the Klingons and stuff, and all these aliens. Never seen anything for the longest time because space is big. I kind of like that, and that would work.
Because could you imagine if episode 1, the reveal was. Well, episode 1, she dies. That's the reveal. That's a big thing to do episode 1. Episode 2 is revealed she was an android. Episode 3, the reveal of Borg cube. Episode 4, reveal of Jatvasht. Those are 4, and episode maybe 5, the reveal that the Admiralty is corrupt. That's 5 epic reveals. They've been crammed into 3, none of which have any good payoffs yet.
Yeah.
Those would have been really big touchstones for each episode. And they just blew the multiple things all over people's faces and just made them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But we have some more super chats we got to get to. So, Andrew Reynolds puts in $5. Hanel Culpepper said episode 2 to 3 originally episode 2, but they expanded it to add more backstory. Probably why it feels disjointed to some. Originally, it was 9, I guess. Well, 10's a better number than 9 for sure. But yeah, you can kind of feel that in those episodes. Maybe from here on, like I said, we're on equal footing with people that saw it in the red carpet now. Yep. So maybe it'll get more exciting. The crazy stuff is still to come. But we'll see.
They're off Earth, although they're going to go back to Earth.
Yes, that's the sad part. I almost don't want to see previews for the next week, you know?
Yeah, but you know what I said about padding? So you're trying to think what was padding, because the scenes with the captain can't have been padding. Those are quite important. The scene, maybe all of Soji's stuff.
Yeah, and the fight scene.
Fight scene especially.
A lot of it wasn't needed, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway. The Trembler, though, throws in $5.
Thank you.
You going to, or did you, on another video, discuss Chabon's Instagram response to Trek fans' criticisms? I don't think we're going to do a video on it.
I mean, we can mention it here briefly after we go through some more super chats. Certainly, this is a good medium to mention it a little bit. I mean, it's nice at least he's sort of saying stuff. Not that they're the most great responses, but you know.
Yeah. Overall, kind of just disappointed in it. That decision, but you know, that's about it.
Oh, and Tangerine Star says probably 8 million budget per episode. Has it been efficiently spent? It does not feel like an 8 million episode.
It's all on Picard. It's all on Patrick Stewart.
I mean, where has that money gone? Like. There's been very little special effects, very few locations, relatively speaking, very few sets, relatively speaking. I mean, it was like 2 million to make a bridge. It's a lot. So you make the Enterprise bridge with 2 million, and if every scene's on the next one bridge, you feel that budget. I mean, feels like one of the less expensive shows. Maybe Vasquez Rocks had to put in like $500,000 to rent it. But I don't think that was really needed.
Yeah.
It's weird because then Game of Thrones. I know. Obviously, they have a lot of the stuff pre-made. But you throw a good episode of Game of Thrones in, you're like, oh yeah, that's 6 million. Oh yeah, I can see exactly where our money is. This is not an 8 million show, and I can't imagine Patrick's getting $1 million an episode. I mean, I guess the Friends cast were 20 years ago, you know, and he's the draw.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I know that Garrett Wong got like $1 million a season, I believe, for Voyager back in the day, for being a primary cast. So it's like a yearly salary of $1 million, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's like 7 months of work of 16-hour days. It's more work than an average 9 to 5. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, Starship Mango puts in £2. Picard must have skipped being Commodore then. No, I think there's different command paths within Starfleet. I think Starship captains automatically go to Admiral. More desk jockey kind of positions end up going to Commodore and stuff, would be my assumption, but I honestly don't know how the ranking, how that works in the military. So
I would assume each of the higher ranks has a different sort of purpose, and therefore you'd get offered a higher up rank. Once you're past captain, if they want you to be of the Commodore line of work, they'll offer you a Commodore ship, or if they want you to be a
fleet captain, or
fleet admiral. These are rank. You don't need to be a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star admiral. If they think you're ready to be a fleet admiral, like, dude, we need you as a fleet admiral. So I'm not really worried about that. And besides, Commodore was only in TOS and now is in Discovery there, but Picard. So that's kind of I guess they were there the whole time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Judge 1981 puts in $20. Thank you very much,
goodness.
Judge. A gift for you from my birthday on February 2nd. You're giving us a gift because it was your birthday.
Happy birthday.
We appreciate it.
To you. My birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Judge 1981. Happy birthday to you.
And thank you for
and many more. Oh, goodness. All right.
That's awesome.
Brian Harvard puts in $3.99. I'm hoping the rumored Pike show is more episodic. I'm hoping the rumored Pike show is a thing.
It's
we're still not
for over a year now, so
I know. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that format of show would be more episodic. I would hope. There's a lot of adventures out there.
Yeah, so the Section 31 show you can imagine is incredibly like serialized, like one big narrative as well. You know, if it's that dark. But when I was in FedCon in Germany this last June, Anson and Ethan were on the stage. Obviously, they don't get specific choice in the matter, but Anson was specifically saying, I would sign on. I'd more like to sign on if they offered episodic. I wouldn't want to do a big season arc, and I wanted Trek should be episodic. I want to do episodic. I want to do Adventures of the Week. Ethan was the same way. He was like, I want to do weekly adventures, weekly things, do different things to stretch the range. So I do want a comedy episode, want a dark episode, want a fighting episode. He said one just wants to do like Kung Fu-in. Because when you have these big arcs, I mean, what does Patrick do in these 3 episodes? Walks and talks. There's no range to it, really. I mean, they're not doing much. Yes, you could argue it's what they do in TNG, but because some are sciencey, some are mathematic-y, it's so differently vibey. This is all very similar stuff. At least when you get episode 3. Episode 1 and 2, he felt different because he was from depressed to not depressed. But 3 is standing still.
Yeah, and you got to think, too, that I think the Pike show or TNG, it's more of an ensemble cast. You got more characters. Picard's not that yet. It is called Star Trek Picard, after all. So it's about him, and he is the main focus of the show. But
is it even about him?
No, it's not. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah. They should have named it, like, Star Trek...
La Serena.
Yeah, well, they should have named it something else, because naming on him, if he's not the point of the story, is purely marketing, because they got 1 million more views because they called it Picard. Just from that alone, Yeah.
Yes. Now, Mark Lawrence puts in $2. 3 ranks between Captain and Full Admiral, some promotion. 3 ranks between Captain and Full Admiral. What?
Well, Janeway got Full Admiral. I mean, yeah.
Well, Kirk did too at the end of this 5-year mission. And
I can imagine that they turned down ranks. Because, like, we know that Riker could have been captain 6 years earlier. No, 6 years earlier written by TNG. So, he could have been a captain a long time. So, he's more likely to skip a rank if he's, avoided a rank for a long time. I can imagine. Especially because part of being an admiral is they want your experience. So if they want your experience as a fleet admiral, they're just going to give you fleet admiral.
Yeah.
They're not going to make you be a desk admiral for a year if they need you doing a job. Most admirals do jobs,
Mm-hmm.
There aren't as many admirals, they're more specific.
Well, we got a PayPal from Jarzia.
Of course we do.
$10 PayPal, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
With how expensive and short TV seasons are getting, I wonder if at some point video games will take over as the primary storytelling medium. They're already the biggest sector of the entertainment industry. If games get to a point of totally open and interactive universes like Star Citizen is trying to be, then once you make the base game for a franchise, you can release new missions like episodes of a TV show. Well, it's just Star Trek Online. Using existing assets at a fraction of the cost of making a high-end TV episode today. And of course, then you can be the part of the story rather than just watch. And that's leading up to that holodeck tech. Just saying.
Holo novels, yeah. I mean, you're a gamer, sort of. I used to be a gamer, sort of. What's your take on that, then?
I tend to agree. Like, the new games are so immersive and so cinematic, and there's so much great aspects to them, and the open worldness of a lot of them is interesting, but that kind of gets you sidelined a lot of the times.
It's a way of padding time, but padding time where you have your own choice if you want to pad it. It's like you can do Fallout 3 in like 45 minutes, the main story, if you want to. I mean, not a hack way, just like a very direct way. It took me like 50 hours because I just sort of did it as I went. They're clever like that.
But yeah, I kind of agree that it's going to be the next main driving force. Although I don't know if because I've talked about this before. I mean, back in the day when Star Trek was on, there's only a certain number of TV channels. So everybody had this shared experience. Everybody saw the episode the same time. They saw it, weekly. And there's only so many shows on.
Well, the rarity, if you missed it, you're out of the click. You have to be there and turn in because otherwise you miss it.
Yeah, and now we got so many streaming services with, Netflix exclusive shows or shows only on HBO. A lot of us don't have those services. Might want to watch the show, but we're not going to have the same shared collective experience. Like our kids aren't going to have the same, looking back at their childhood, going, "Remember that show? Remember sitting in front of the TV every Saturday morning watching cartoons?" Because you either saw the show or you didn't, or you'll get around to it at some point. It's just too convenient now, and it's also inconvenient at the same time.
Well, that's one of a small minority bitched about Picard being weekly and not dump at all. But there was interesting when The Witcher came out. It was all in one go, and they got massive, internet praise, and then 3 or 4 weeks in, all died down because they got their bump,
Mm-hmm.
and there you go, and that's all they're going to get for a year until season 2 comes out, and that's it. That's it. Whereas 10 episodes of 3 months of Star Trek news, that allows you to have debates and be wrong about things in your discussing. I mean, it's such a better way of doing it. I'm so glad that they chose to do that. It would have been such a shame otherwise. And we this channel might not be successful. Like, we might not have worked at all because we couldn't definitely do like what we're going to do one full length review every day to try and rush them out. I don't know how we'd even try and do that. So it's a good experience to do it daily.
That's a good point.
It's a good thing to have.
So as far as gaming goes, being the next thing, I mean, I agree, but it's the same as having different streaming services. You have to have the right platform because some games are exclusive to a certain platform.
And the barrier to entry is so much higher because you mentioned immersive games. Well, I happen to have a high-end PC. If you have an Xbox 360, you're not getting the new games anyway. And the new Xbox is going to be hundreds and hundreds of pounds or dollars. That's a high barrier to entry. Whereas if you just have Netflix, it's $10 a month and you get everything. And you just sit and watch. The barrier of entry is incredibly high compared to just TV. And you can't just relax. I mean, how if you had to summarize sort of out of 100 times, out of those 100, how many just want to sit and relax versus be active and play?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, I find it frustrating too with games. I'm kind of getting off topic here a little bit. There's a lot more super chats. I'll get to them in a second.
Well, you guys control what we talk about. That's kind of the fun of these chats.
Yeah. And this was a PayPal that we're answering. So I get kind of frustrated with games that are very narrative driven because a lot of times you're sitting there with the controller in your hand and you're watching a cutscene and you can't do a thing about it. You can't skip it in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'm here to play a game. Like, this is great. I would love the option to be able to skip this if needed, but a lot of times first one through you can't or whatever. I get it. It's part of the story, but it's frustrating as hell. And then you do get it after the long cutscene. You get to walk across the room and open a drawer, and then another cutscene. And it's frustrating because it's not gaming per se. It's an interactive story, but it's just frustrating. Is the point I'm getting at?
No, that's why open worlds have a certain fun to them because you can just go. And I like a lot of games where you have to. I mean, you should look in a certain direction. There's your cutscene. Like you can look over there. The cutscene is happening in game over there. You can ignore it, or you can look at it. But at least you can sort of move around and whatever.
Yeah, some of the cutscenes you can like move your head a little bit and look at different things. But anyway,
the games are interesting. So I think that. Last note on that, I was going to ask at the start, but I'll bring it back up again. So if you had Patrick Stewart voicing Picard in a narrative-driven 10-hour game, third-person action, whatever, or watching 10 hours of him live on screen over 10 weeks, but you could only do one, and you wouldn't be able to know the information of the other show.
I'd rather watch it.
See why?
I find it more enjoyable to just not have to think sometimes. Sometimes the cinematics are great. Sometimes watching a TV show is fantastic.
Yep. That's all we have to. That's it. That most people would rather do that.
Yeah, but then everybody bitches and complains because their idea wasn't used and our idea was so much better. And
well, that's been TV forever. I mean, that's just the medium. When that first train attacked people in the cinema, they're like, "Oh my god!" They're like, "Well, why wasn't it quicker? Could have got me quicker."
True enough.
Anyway.
Mark Lawrence, $2.
Hey.
Oh, did that one already. Never mind. Sorry,
Thanks
Mark.
Anyway.
Not a banned account puts in $2. Any comments on Picard's death scene at the end of season 1? We haven't seen it yet, so we can't comment.
Sad, unnecessary, too much nudity.
And swearing, and not... It breaks canon in a lot of ways.
Yes. No, he won't die in season 1. Maybe by into season 3, but that's still an absolute shock, absolute shame.
Yeah. Starship Mango puts in £2. Matthew Decker was Commodore, maybe.
Sorry, Stu.
Yes, he was a Commodore.
He was.
Oh, ha. It's ironic because when you hear what I have to read, and I faded out as well. Matthew Decker was a Commodore. Maybe it faded out.
That was funny.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's certain branches of Starfleet that would have, perhaps, but it's hard to say. I don't know. Matt Deckard puts in $2. Wow, after a comment about Matthew Decker. Is Picard in a three-way marriage? It seems like it, doesn't it? Or he's the child or the parent that they're looking after. It does kind of feel that way, but I like the two other characters, so that's fine. Jarzia puts in $2. I worked 16 hours a day last year and didn't get $1 million.
Nope.
Nope.
Most people don't.
James McGill puts in $4.99. Seems each Picard episode is a chapter in a long story. It's entertaining and feels Star Trek despite the cussing. Picard combat performance is believable. Well, yeah, his combat performance is very believable because he's an old man.
We should shoot the scenes better.
Yeah.
As I said, John Wick, they've got... I mean, those are professional stunt guys turned directors working with a talented actor who's good at stunts. It's a different level. That's like gold... That's like platinum standard of that. I've seen the John Wick movies.
I have not.
Oh, I mean, some of the action scenes are like...
I've seen a lot of the actions. I've seen lots of the parts of them, but...
Yeah, I mean, do you agree they're kind of like top-tier action sequences?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not really fair to compare exactly, but you can make a character that you know is going to win, not feel as if he's going to win, and be totally enjoyable, and a ride, and a story, There's a not. But I mean, the problem with it being a 10-act structure is that we've seen lots of shows that are like that, but each episode still has a point, has a theme, gets you. Because episode 1 is the one where Daj dies. Okay, that's a story plot. Episode 2 is the one where... Oh, she gets turned down by the Admiral. In episode 3, he meets her and him.
And episode 2 is also the reveal of the corrupt... the Starfleet insiders, if you will.
So it's the Starfleet episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
But episode 3 is just meeting her and him, and you're like, okay.
That could have been done in 20 minutes. That could have been part of an episode, not the whole episode.
Like I said, it should have been 2 episodes of 55, not 3 of 44. Pacing with
yes. Yeah. And Squadra Course puts in $2. The shared experience is things like Trekyards.
Yeah.
Well, for 205 of you anyway. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed if you're a new viewer.
You'd be surprised how important clicking the like button is. Like, algorithmically, YouTube's like, ooh, they got likes. And they're more like to go in the subscription folder and such. So, guys, we're at 100 likes now. We should at least see 130. I mean, I don't think that's anything to question. So I want to see like, go. Back to you, Stuart.
That's right. Starship Mango puts in £2. I thought Picard was married to Irish Romulan lady. Nope. She's married, I think, to the other guy. The Northerner. Stubborn bastard. You idiot.
I'm still surprised he's not married. I would have thought one of the things he would take away from post everything is now I can do the family thing.
Well, that's a story element that better be revealed because I want to know what happened to Beverly. I want to know why he doesn't have a wife or a kid. Because he
even
was
an
quite.
Wife is something. At least he tried.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Like, hopefully that's revealed. And I'm sure it will be. Honestly,
he's such a legend. He deserves to be happy.
But you notice most of the legends never have kids that we know about.
Most
like
legends are being abused. Look at the Skywalkers, and then why can't he give them nice lives?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like Kirk and all that. They sure he had a kid, but his kid died. But they don't carry on that legacy, that line, that family line that got them to where they were.
Because it's drama. People want to have that darkness behind the eyes within the character. You don't want to be happy and positive. I'm sure Patrick only signed on like Harrison Ford, knowing he's going to die inside the show, knowing he's going to deal with some cool stuff. Because being happy he's a nice, gentlemanly, happy guy. Whereas if he gets to play a dark Picard, that's more interesting as a thespian, and it is. But for us, it's like, oh, really? He chose to not get married, live alone for 30 years. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's just sad, you know. This great man reduced to that.
Mm-hmm. Fleet Pot Swiftback puts in $1.99. 100 likes again at 150. Smash that like. We can easily hit 150, guys. Come on. Or 130. We'll dumb it down like Samuel said, 130. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Should be easy. Sturm Vom Alk puts in $5. As much as people like these uniforms in this photo, they seem ill-fitting. Yeah, somebody commented on when I shared this on Facebook that, oh, maybe 10 episodes will be enough to get them to get the uniforms to fit right. So, yeah.
But let me cut to premiere, as I often do, because there's a lot of story elements, and let me do them in a random order so we can kind of like address them randomly. I think would be kind of a fun way of doing this. So lots of these are plot threads, right? And a whole a whole variation of small and big ones, but you know, things that may or may not actually be dealt with. Okay, I think that's relatively random. So the first one, so you died and I froze. Okay.
Everything looks fine on my end.
Weird. So the first picture, the first story thread is obviously there's two in this one picture. There's the idea of the androids, how, when, why were they created, and get past the whole measure of man laws, and then being hacked, going wild. Like, that's some pretty big story. That could be an entire series of Trek, just the idea of androids going rogue. That's an entire season of story. And here it is as one of these parts of this big plot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, hopefully that'll be revealed as well when we get to Maddox and we learn about these, and of course who hacked them and things like that. It'll be interesting to find that out. But yeah, then jumping off that back is the whole Mars, the attack on Mars. I was going to say Mars Attacks.
Good movie.
Ack.
I like that movie.
But so yeah, there's that plot thread. Who orchestrated that? How it was pulled off.
Mm-hmm.
Still a lot there as well. That could be its own whole thing, you know.
I mean, that could have been a movie. You know, it starts with Mars getting attacked, and now Starfleet has to go send a ship out, kind of like Nimbus 3. You know, something happens and we have to go respond to it. That could be an entire movie. You know, because destroying Utopia Phoenicia is a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Now, obviously, that's one of the biggest story arcs, and that's more connected because that does connect to the Admiral. That connects to Soji. That is definitely one of the bigger plots. But is at this point Picard even trying to find what happened? I mean, it happened 14 years ago, and he seems to have given up as soon as he lost his commission.
Well, he doesn't believe Raffi that the Romulans were involved. He did tell her that according to the Admiralty, it was a line of bad code, and he didn't seem to question it. Then she says, "No." Then she said, "There's the Romulans." He's like, it's not the Romulans. Why would they Why would they do that to their own people when we're trying to help them? So he's brushed that off. It's not even a conspiracy to him. To him, it's just a bad line of code that went out of control.
I don't think the old Picard would do that. I think they would.
Oh, I know. He'd be right on that.
Especially as a high up admiral, and the take is based on data, and like all these things. Wow, yeah, that already doesn't sound like Picard.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's one of those things where you can tell they planned parts of the story and then filled in the gaps. It wasn't like they weren't fully set in what they wanted to do, and therefore Picard had to be this, and this, and therefore he'll accept this because and it's like, what? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's those two plot threads. What's next?
Yes. Then you've got the mother, because that's another subplot, or the Dahj's sort of fake mother. That's a whole nother plot thread of who, what, where, how, if. And then some are linked, but that's a whole nother thread of a plot of it's not a real mum. I'll fit memories any bit of real, you know.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into Maddox, the mom, the twins. It's going to be one of the lesser reveals, I think. It'll be when they run into Maddox, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, they don't have a family because they were, only around for 3 years or whatever. So I've created this hologram that every time they contact, it's going to be a pretty simple wrap up. That one, I think. Could be wrong, but I doubt it."
Someone suggested that the memories that Daj has is actually that of Maddox's daughter, and then she died, and then he used her engrams as a baseline for memories. So this could be his wife. You said that ages ago. This could be his wife, but obviously like a construct version. It's not really, but it's all sort of linked together a bit.
See, I'd almost buy that, except when Dodge was talking about her father, he was a botanist, and or whatever, and named an orchid after her. So there would be some alterations in memories there for sure. But maybe the main structure of the home life, Seattle, which everybody's from, could be Maddox's kid's story. Maybe, yeah.
It's just more information they threw at us, and it may go somewhere, but it's not focused plot progression. It's stuff to throw at you,
Yeah.
You've got this beat, which was Daj saw Picard in her flash memory saying, "I've known you for a long time." Will we actually see this thread of him? Because he's in the suit. That's not just him in an outfit. That's him in a distinct suit. Kind of like... Because that was before she saw the press release. So she didn't know he was wearing that. Now, they could just film that on the same day. That's why he's wearing this suit. But it's sort of implying as if this is a memory of him looking at androids, la la la. So are we going to see him having approved the first rung of androids and be part of that? Or is it just a figment of imagination? Or is it,
You know what it almost looks like? It almost looks like... the day that B4 got disassembled, he went to visit him.
Yeah.
After the incident, because he's older. I mean, he's not in a Starfleet uniform, so he's already been demoted or kicked out or resigned, whatever. But it looks very much like it could be a cybernetics lab or something with the lights in the background. There's a doorway there. It's not like it's just a white background or a black background.
Yeah.
There's actually something there, like. That's the last thing B4 saw before they deactivated him.
But the problem with that, he's sort of surprised B4's in the drawer. It's more of a supposition, but that could mean it's been like 7 years. I still hope this was the last thing Law saw. They reactivated Law, and this is a conversation he had with him. I think that would be a cool thing.
I'd buy that too.
That would explain why they're more unstable, blah blah blah. Yeah, there's things you can do with that. Things you can do. Next little thread is the I don't know what her name is, the Romulan lady that goes haywire, and all the Romulans, because now the Romulans for some reason have gone a little bit crazy after being de-assimilated. Is that a plot point? Is that just so that you get a weird scene? Is that actually mean a thing? Because we've seen Vulcans be assimilated and de-assimilated. We've seen Romulans be assimilated and de-assimilated. It's not something that kills you, as in mentally. So why is it a big problem here?
First of all, her name is Rhonda, just so you remember. It's like Rhonda, but different, with an M.
A fish called Rhonda.
Yeah. I think this is going to be... It's going to depend very much on what the destroyer means. Whether it's just a Romulan thing or... whatever, because after this incident, the Romulans were all agitated and up in arms, kind of thing. So, I don't know. This one could be a big plot point, but I have a feeling it's not going to be. I don't know. See, the destroyer seems pretty epic. Could be the main thing. It's hard to say.
Or the lady could have just been Jack Vash, and that was just a symbol of her brain going crazy. Which is definitely simpler, but you wouldn't think you'd let Hugh allow her to go see a Jatvash if you know what I mean. You wouldn't
He wouldn't know that though. I mean, there's secret organization. Even the Tal Shiar just thinks they're used to scare the Tal Shiar agents,
No,
like boogeymen.
I mean they wouldn't let Hugh, as in the guy she's sleeping with, wouldn't let Hugh. Like there'd be orders saying, for no reason should we let Soji talk to these people.
Yeah,
That's
it
all.
makes you wonder if
Narek?
Eric, yeah, thank you, is Jat Vash or just Tal Shiar. Like, what level of involvement is there in that regard? Is he Tal Shiar being told by someone who's Jat Vash, like his sister, maybe, that he doesn't know about? Is that why is that who he's getting his orders from? Again, there's probably layers to that as well.
Or is one of the big reveals that there isn't a Jatvash? It's a secret. It's just a hoax to allow them to do certain dark things. Which I like that idea personally. I think it being a boogeyman, something like the abominable snowman. It's never been real, but it's a story people like to tell each other. Or Loch Ness monsters. Like it's not real, but to some people it is real. That would simplify this, but again, there's context, there's texture here that you can use for story. Because it'd be fine if there's one lady who's crazy, but have all the Romulans be a bit crazy and say, these are the only Romulans. Like, there's levels to this that are unnecessary they don't pay off in the episode. Will they pay off in this season? Or in next, part of saying is 10% enough, is saying, well, they might skip all that stuff into seasons 2 or 3, or possible 4 or possible 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or do they mean nothing? They just wrote them as like little bits of texture, but then you'd rather have stuff that all connects because that's a clever plot. Make everything really important because you've only got 10 episodes. Make all of it important and linked.
Yeah. Well, Eugene though throws in 500 rubles. It feels like there was one writer team who created the skeleton story for the season, and then another team was tasked to pad the skeleton to full script, but unable to correct plot holes and forced to draw from conclusions.
I can see that being.
Well, with 14 executive producers in the credits, I can definitely see that being the case. I mean, that's kind of the standard we've been set with now for Star Trek. There's too many cooks in the kitchen and too many people being let go and then having to play catch up. I mean, that's just the way things are run at CBS now by the looks of it.
There's definitely no single vision. There's no,
well, there's Patrick Stewart's vision. The only reason he agreed to come on with this is that he would have this overview of the story, right? So.
Well, he was pitched the story. I mean, he was pitched a story he liked, Peel that he liked. And then he got some level of saying no. It wasn't his story, but yeah, I'm sure he was able to say, well, actually, I'd rather have this included. But it wasn't his story,
Yeah. FlowX831 puts in $10, so thank you very much. I noticed when Soji's mom started talking to her, she fell asleep, as if saying specific things made her fall asleep. Only bring this up because she was telling her Daj was fine, but she isn't. Yes, and we chalked that up to kind of like a reset button.
Maybe.
Like, just kind of like a hypnotic state to put her back to sleep. But the problem is when she woke up, when Narek came in, she automatically started babbling about the ship, the Romulan ship. Well, it didn't, though, because you would think her first reaction on waking up would be like, I got to contact my sister, see if she's okay.
Oh, okay.
So the Dodge thing seems to be forgotten now, at least temporarily. It's a weird situation too. Why would that be a thing? Why would that be a thing? That
that's a very logical connection I had made there, Stuart.
Yeah. Well, why would the hologram be, programmed to put her to sleep when she talks about Dodge? Because does the hologram know that Dodge is dead?
Well,
she knew that she was in trouble.
Well, we know that. Well, we know. I say it with a strong supposition of that's got to make sense. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but that they're on a mission, right? She's there for a reason, and so part of that mission is not to go haywire. So it would make sense that, let's not confuse the agent about the mission going really screwy. Makes sense, keep her on mission. Don't tell the truth. Automated answer machine. is what the mum basically is. You've reached the diddle.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, when we first saw the mom, as soon as Picard was mentioned, you just saw like it changed its approach. So I was looking for that here as well. Yep. As soon as she said, "Is Dodge okay?" I expected a little bit of a psst, but we didn't get that. So,
but I do like the point out that she does sort of ask about Dodge again, and you would assume that would be the most important thing. But obviously, resetting on mission, it's like it would have been better if she had lost part of the memories, you know, just forgotten some stuff, as if it was a trig, or that would have been, I think, more interesting.
Well, Star Trek, great, love that name. Makes a good point. Maddox is mom. That's the ultimate catfish. So every time they contact mom, it's actually Maddox, and there's a holographic like mask that gets transmitted instead.
Yeah.
I buy that. I do.
Yes, I could too.
We'll have to wait and see. And we are summing up what happened in the last 3 episodes basically here, but we're also trying to just tell you guys all the plot points that need to be resolved. And because the question is 10 episodes enough for all the stuff we've been introduced to in 3 episodes, and the slow pace that those 3 episodes drip fed it to us?
We're a third of the way through. We know so much, and yet nothing's happened.
Yeah.
In essence.
And is it going to be one of those up to episode 8, like we still don't have answers, and all of a sudden, boom, cascade of answers, or is it going to be something held over till next season?
Because these are interesting plot lines. We're complimenting them on the potential of what they are. Mm-hmm. And normally this could be an entire season of 26 episodes. Oh, can it be fun and it'd be cool, and then burning through it. You know, don't burn through epic stories. You know, you don't really need to.
Dan23 though puts in £1 with no comment, but thank you very much, Dan. Much appreciated.
No, that's unusual. Thank you for a little bit. Appreciate it. So then we have the whole Raffi. I've got different versions of her, but the being fired. Was that actually a plot device? Because we both called that as being a bit bullshit. Is that ever going to be explored, or is it just like, oh yeah, she's fired, moving on? Kind of like Tom Paris's. He's actually Castile backstory. It was just to get him on the ship. You don't need to go into it anymore. Like they explained in Endgame, I think the last episode, explain it in Caretaker, but they never go back and really delve into that accident because they kind of know that A, it doesn't matter, and B, you kind of know he's Castile. Yeah.
Well, the thing is with that, I'm hoping that there's another flashback that shows her going back into Starfleet to talk to the CNC, have Commodore O in the office, her say, I believe this is a Romulan plot. Why are the AIs being dismantled? I believe the Romulans are responsible for the attack on the fleet, and have her just get shut down by Commodore O, and that's the reason she got fired, because she wouldn't let it go.
Yep.
Because it doesn't make sense that she's just, the admiral you were serving under has resigned, so you have nobody to serve under now. We can't transfer you or anything. You're fired.
Whereas if the madness of she's so convinced there was a problem, she keeps pursuing it, and without the backing of Admiral Picard to sort of, either keep her in check and also give her the political clout to do it, she's like, you have hacked into every database, you are now fired. Which could be why free cloud could be a thing, because she wants to go there because she's so pissed off. What if maybe she investigates, like you say, we see a flashback to that, and free cloud email her saying, hey, we know you're trying to find information, we have access potentially, but that goes absolutely haywire, south, whatever, and then she gets fired because of both using legal method and also wrong information, and they were playing her, and now she wants to go and get answers. So that could be interesting. Yeah, there has to be more there, or there might not be. Like, that's what I mean. It's a plot thread that could be an entire episode of TV. That's the thing. This is a full story. The Raffi episode of why, how, and who, and that story. That's an episode, or it's not at all, and we're going to keep seeing people in the chateau looking up at the stars.
It's a great summation.
You know.
Zarkon D. Grissom, those are in $5.
Thank you.
Sorry for the distraction. Did the Expanse Donegal class end up on the wall?
Nope.
Okay, sorry. Back to the Data versus Borg Queen, or Sorgi the Destroyer. LOL. So you said no? It did, or
Nope, wasn't. Only the Russianette.
The Rossiante.
Rossiano?
Rossiante.
Oh, God, I don't.
I'm probably saying it wrong too. But
Hey, I've met
Rossiante's
Ryan. I'm happy. I did my bit, you know. Like, I'll see the Expanse. I know, I will, guys. And I'm sure I'll do some sort of Trekyards video themed, or as Fleetyards, talking about it. But it's the last great sci-fi. I'm saving it, as you guys know.
I'm probably gonna watch it soon. I've been watching Hell on Wheels actually under the advice of Jeff Jacobs.
Hell on Wheels.
And that's Hell on Wheels. It's about the building of the railway across America.
Oh.
It's got Cole Meany in it. So
Yeah.
Chief O'Brien is there. He's the head of the railroad. And Anson Mount, Captain Pike, is the character. He's a gunslinger of sorts.
Yeah, he likes westerns, the actor.
It's really well done, and I'm really enjoying it. It's fun seeing these two guys out of the roles I know them for.
Yeah, seriously.
And I love those kind of historical things. So it's a really good show. So thank you, Jeff, for recommending that. So I think after I'm done Hell on Wheels, I'll probably honestly start The Expanse.
Dude, do like watch Trekyards video things. Like, people I'm sure would love to know your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, Eugene puts in 250 rubles. My guess, the mom, or moms, is just a subroutine in her head. When she asked about Dodge, the subroutine crashed, and the OS decided to fix it by turning Soji off and on again. Hey, like my shirt. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yes. It does fix too many things.
And Jeff Jacobs, $2. Yay for Hell on Wheels. Well, yay, Jeff, for convincing me to watch it.
Yeah, I watched when I was much younger. I watched a similar program. It was more of a documentary style, but it was like they did reenactments, and it was super interesting. Just the fact they brought Chinese labor in, and like really interesting stuff. If I'm thinking the right tale.
See you, Donnie. Donnie's leaving.
Bye. I like he always tells us. It's like, oh hi, bye, welcome, bye. Yeah, and the mother being a not the part of the program is interesting, but the way they're showing the hologram is so deliberate. Like, here's a hollow thing. I've got a device. I'm talking to it. It's so fundamentally there. Now, if there was a thing whereby, in say the apartment where she talks to the mum and she has a Romulan communicator, if there was a mirror on a bedside and you see for a split second the reflection and there's no hologram, like it is in one of the sequences, the clue is there, that would be great. But it's played completely straight, except the flash of wrong, as it being there, just hologram. So we're seeing enough holograms to not even think twice that there are hologram tech-based things. So, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So Raffi, I mean, there's a lot to explore with Raffi as far as plot threads go. The whole why she wants to go to Free Cloud. Again, it could tie in with her seeing connections with the Romulans. It's hard to say.
And this could and does apply to everybody, but I think her interestingness will completely, and her memorableness will be completely based on how much she gets this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't sell me.
No, I'm not. I don't like her. I don't like her character.
She represents so many bad things in Trek. If they give her reasons for bad things, that's fine. But to be, an addict and such, it's like it takes a lot for you to be an addict in Trek when everyone, like the fact that she's so bitching about her mobile home when it's probably a lovely place. She has replicators and live action holo emitters, and sonic showers and real like it's probably a lovely little home. Why do you need more? Why is she that arrogant to say I deserve a vineyard in France? Excuse me, what? I mean, Berkeley had a loft. Like, people just have places. You pick where you live, and you can live in Venice if you wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems again, there's other reasons, and as we've talked before, that's in very quick distance of LA, which is a hub. She's very near to society. She's not anywhere distant. Like, so yeah.
But maybe not in the future.
Next thread, and this is a smaller one, but they put a lot of time in it, is Soji's sort of friend, the Trill friend. They go into the fact that she gets not sent in. I mean, I'm assuming she's going to be a red shirt character where she might get assimilated or hurt or something. or is she just a one-off introduced just for exposition? Because that feels like another thing introduced, and then
I'm going to call her right now. We're not going to see her again.
Because you'd think in a serialized 10-episode story, each thing you introduce should mean something, because you've got 10 episodes.
It certainly should.
Yeah, but it feels like a thread, possible thread.
Yeah. Fleetpot Swiftback puts in $4.99.
Oh, thank you.
My thoughts, at least 13 episodes are needed for a proper plot, backstories, action, etc. 10 is simply not enough, especially as disjointed as it is. I mean, I'd buy that.
It depends. I mean, Blackadder, not that it has an arc, but 6 episodes, like, that's a fucking good 6 episodes. You obviously want more, but that was just that was like somewhat pitch perfect. Some, you know, you can do good story arcs in 3. In 2, in 1, in 5, you know, it depends on the story and how you construct it. You know, I'd rather see 15 or 18 episodes, to be honest, in a season. Even doing like 2 halves, like 2 halves of 7, I'd be okay with. You give a really epic end to, you know, then you've kind of got 2 arcs, but they're all linked, and then give them, you know, 6 months of post production time, and you know. So another arc is the subplots with the Trekyards chap and chapette, the married couple. Are they going to be truly important to the story? I mean, they've been not important to the story per se so far, but important to the episodes. Or are they plants by the Javash, who just delete him on the, you know, either a goose chase with fake information or a real whatever? Or are they just going to be there as just helpers along the route? Are they just, you know, NPCs that give information, or are they actually important to the plot? Are they, you
know? They're just a holdover from the comics, I think. And there's a possibility that the final episode or 2, when the chips are down, they're going to die, these guys are going to come in with some help. Tal Shiar help. Maybe a Romulan ship that they decided they wanted to help Picard out. And the harvest is done. The wine's fine. We stayed for that shit, but we knew you were going to fuck up. So we're here now. I think that might be a possibility for those characters.
We brought a scimitar.
Yeah, we had it cloaked. It was floating above the vineyard the whole time.
Why do you think the video was doing so well this year? We were throwing
Aileron radiation at the grapes. It's really good for grapes.
Really good for grapes. That'd be a great plot twist. That should be a fan film. That should be a great fan film. Just everyone just no one remembers that there's a scimitar cloaked, but it does cool things. That'd be a whole. That'd be funny. Because if everyone dies, they can keep being cloaked. You're not gonna find it, are you? Or there's a Pegasus, like just somewhere, and it's just like but it's lost. So the story of like what it does to the environment could be funny. Sorry guys, tangent. But yes, that, you know, is this a plot point? Are they just characters? Because there's so many things. It's just so unfocused that all these things feel like, you know, the fact that I'm mentioning the Trill lady and them, like they all feel sort of on such close level of potential importance that it's hard to sort of work out what a throwaway beats and what could mean something, you know? It's so unfocused that way.
But the thing is, we're so off guard with them now because of the way they've been introduced and helped out Picard so far that I can see them actually being a plot point or a plot twist at some point of like, you thought you knew these people, but you did not.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh, I got to check PayPal. I got another PayPal. Yes, we got another PayPal from Joseph Petrick. $2.09 US. Thank you. First, everybody was complaining about the pace of just.
Sorry, Stuart. You went away again. Sorry, Stuart.
Oh,
what?
I'm back. Did you hear any of it? No.
Nope.
No.
Just who it was from.
All right. It says, first everybody was complaining about the pace of Discovery, that it is rushed. Now I hear complaints Picard is slow. It is, in my opinion, accurate, not slow, not fast.
The problem is you should take each as it comes. You shouldn't be saying, well, because one was weak in one direction, this show is now strong in a different direction because the other one's weak. You know what I mean? That's not how shows work. You can look at them independently. You know, I mean, you can look at the season 1, season 2, saying, oh, they fucked on canon too much. And in season 2, they try to address that. That's a direct causal link. But saying one is too slow, and then a totally different writing team produce a totally different show with different directors and different writers and different set with a different, like, it's a different everything except, you know, some overarching people. They just happen to have pitched it oddly, and then, you know, also Patrick's older and he'll do it in a slower way, you know. Not as a full story, but the vineyard. Is the vineyard going to be mentioned again, important again? Is it going to mean the thing beyond the setting of the first episode? You know.
Probably not, honestly.
Yeah. There's now been 3 episodes of well, 2 of previous Treks and then these ones. So it's sort of now a plot point in a family term, but if by season 3 he just dies and they never mention it again, it's like, oh, well, what happened to the you know. It's just a thread, you know. It'd be fine if they left and never came back to Earth, but if they keep coming back to Earth, then it's even more of a hero location, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked seeing the vineyard for the first episode, but I didn't want to live in the vineyard for the whole season.
That's why I keep saying that I think they're going to have a secondary plot, and so once they've done the first plot, they're going to come back to the vineyard, then we're going to get 7 and stuff, and then it'll escalate for the second plot. Because I can't imagine them going back and forth. That sounds terrible. Also makes Gatsby feel really small, because it should take days to weeks between locations. And I don't buy that his Rizzo's ship is like a 9.999 craft. It's like, that's a...
It took them like a couple hours to get to Kronos from Earth, when it should take weeks in the movie. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? Nobody notices those things. Anyway, Cartoon Man 154 puts in £2. Paris is the pilot for hire, being Captain Proton.
Oh, yeah. That'd have been fun.
Sammy Ray puts in $2. What the F happened to those 26 episodes? 13 used to be a half season. I know, but it's different television landscape right now, and different storytelling mantra, I guess. Just, it's the modern way that the shows are done.
Yeah, they want a movie per episode, and therefore, if an old show was 2 million an episode, now it's 8, then you're cutting the episode down by, you know, whatever to whatever. Problem is, these episodes don't feel that expensive. They look lovely, but you can, like, fan films and indies can buy the exact same camera they're using and hire people who can grade exactly like they can grade. So at that point, the look is irrelevant. That can be hired for for less than $1 million. It's then everything else, and you know, it's like Tropic Thunder. I was mentioning that because it kept popping up on YouTube recently with Robert Downey Jr. If that just takes place in a forest, does that look big budget film movie? Well, no, they're just filming in a random forest, you know. But it's the actors on
jungle.
Screen. Thank you. Yeah. So similar thing. It's just like, you know, they're shot on a roof. You know, it's okay. That wasn't worth $8 million, was it? They're definitely scrimping money for later on. Or Patrick's like $1.5 million. Like, he might be a fifth of the budget just by himself.
Yeah.
Because the other actors are sort of unknowns-ish. It's not as if they're getting... Like Discovery, you had several high-profile-ish actors who all took a big... Like, I maintain Season 1 Discovery feels cheaper than it should be because the actors took a large chunk of the month, you know, of the episode budget. And the money was not going on screen, it was going on screen, well, in the actors, but hire different actors that are better for less money.
Well, Eugene, though, throws in 500 rubles. I wouldn't call Picard slow per se. It is padded, but not with long vistas and overstretched dialogues. With a lot of disjointed scenes, things happening, boom, next scene, another thing happened, boom, next scene. Yeah, it's not world building.
Yes.
Slow like Blade Runner.
Yes.
Dune. That just gets boring. It's not
or
that
could
kind
get
of
boring.
yeah. It's not that kind of slow pace.
It's just you're very aware of time passing, a limited number of episodes and a limited number of show. You know.
Yeah.
And I do think episode 3 was a bit actual slow and a little bit actual boring. I think that one crossed that line, not tremendously on the other side, but it did cross into the other side. But as we now know, they did make 2 and 3, and it does come across in episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
But next, no, okay.
Zarkandi Grissom, $5. It's slow and lacks coherent character development, which makes it kind of boring. I prefer coherent character development over rapid fire stupid. That's a great way to put it.
Strong summary.
Uh-huh.
Another subplot, and again, this could or not be, but sometimes when when we introduced the news network in DS9, it became a regular plot device for Jake. It was a plot device.
Yes.
So introducing, you could have every episode, da-da-da-da-da, this week in the Federation, the Andorians, you could make that a narrative device. Or just have
We're going to our reporter on the spot, Jake Sisko.
Well, that would have been so obvious. I mean, that would have been...
Hi, Karen. It's Jake here on Andoria. Yep, the Andorians, they still have antennae. They haven't all fallen off yet from the disease. Yeah.
Wow. Cut to the doctor in the studio. That's right. I'm your local EMH. My name's Steve. Bob. Steve. What was his name?
He went with Bob, didn't he? I don't know.
That was a long time ago.
I don't know.
Anyway, but the news reporter, it's sort of a threat. It kind of links into the way his brain's starting to fail. But that's another. We'll get into that in a minute. But just the news plot thread. I mean, that who saw network news? Who could look after him? That could have been if you were telling a coherent story. That one interview could be the impetus to do 2 stories worth of story, 2 episodes worth of story. You know what I mean? Somebody sees him, realizes where he is. Oh my God, he's in France. Riemann assassins come from whatever. Cardassian generals who hate him come along. That could be an entire episode. His interview, he gets targeted. Or not. All these devices that could be used for storytelling are not being used necessarily fully.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Utopia Peninsula, all of the stuff on it. Seeing the station, seeing the ships. That's a huge plot thing, to how that links in directly to how much time was known for the supernova, because it lowers the risk heavily if you've got several years to build not just a couple of ships, thousands of ships.
Well, yeah, and going back to the Mars plot for a second, I'm sure we're going to see more about that. And maybe there's going to be an explanation why Mars is still burning. Maybe they introduced something into the atmosphere when they attacked.
Yeah.
Some clarification on that, because people have been bitching about that since it was said. I personally don't have much of an issue with it, but
so it literally ruins Planitia and ruins Mars. They literally destroy Mars. That's what we've done. All they have to say is that if there's a meeting where we see Picard in his flashback uniform, he's talking to the admiral saying, "Well, I understand that to build these ships to increase production by 3,000%, we must release the chemicals in the atmosphere to an extent that is now of a dangerous level, and safety procedures have to be taken into, and now we have to do synths because no one can be outside of shelters because one thing go wrong and it'll burn the atmosphere. So then they have to make the synths to help deal with that threat. That could be that would be a nice link, wouldn't it? The synths are a necessity because of the increased, and therefore that brings the attention of the Jat Vash because of that. Actually, quite nice, linking things together. And I'd be fine with just the massive build-up because I'm sure the Dominion War they kind of rushed ships. They didn't have to build 10,000 hulls. It was more a case of can we build 200 Defiants? Yes, let's do that. Let's make them fully functional because that's really important. That's the vibe I got anyway. It's interesting. Yeah. Next subplot. You've got the Jat Vash itself. Is that a real thing? Who's can tell the story? Why does she know so much? Was she one? Because
her dad let it slip when he was drunk.
Was he one? Does he know? I mean, that's a lot of information. It was so pitch perfectly explained. Is that not a bit easy? A bit coincidental? I don't know. Maybe. I think it was too much. It should have been teased out throughout multiple episodes. Potentially. I mean, ways of doing it, but you know.
She could have mentioned them, and then later episodes, like she doesn't know what they did. They just forebears of the Tal Shiar at some point.
Yeah.
And then eventually get revealed that it's anti-synth.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And I still think to base the entire secret Romulan whatever on hating synths is such a stupid, like, that's one of the biggest needs explanation. It's like, why'd you hate synths that much? Holy shit. That's like the entire biggest plot. It's like, what? Why? What? Why are you putting your the money on that pony, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a thing in Trek. Why is it now the baseline of this entire system of secret organization? So that's a huge thread.
It makes writing easier to introduce something new.
And this is what we had in Discovery, you know, we really hoped that they would address these cool things with the cool things. And that's kind of what we're trying to say. We're quite a long time in this live, and all of these could be full stories, you know. Anyway, another plot: the Picard being ill, being died.
Oh yes,
that's another plot.
Almost forgot about that.
Yeah, that I think is definitely one of the, like, thrown in just because that feels so tacked on to me anyway.
Yeah. As I said, I think that might, if it links to the Borg implants, something happened when he was Locutus, either the removal of the stuff damaged it, whatever.
Yeah.
It could easily tie in with Hugh being able to help him, 709 being able to help him, Soji not really, because Soji's not what I thought she was going to be. I thought she was going to be actually operating on the drones, and she's not. But that, I almost forgot about that plot thread, Judith. So thank you for mentioning that.
See what I mean? And I'm only halfway done through my pictures, and that's the point. It's so dense, but it doesn't feel like anything's happened. It's so strange, you know, because this could be an episode 8 reveal.
Well,
oh my god, you're dying! I'm dying.
Yeah.
Reveal, not 4 reveals. Episode 2. Holy hell! Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to go back after the season is done and watch this live and see if they checked everything off. Because I'm sure they're going to forget one or two things, which might come up in another season. That's fine. But
it's definitely a multi-season show. That's the point. 10 episodes is just the first bit of the first bit. It's the first act of this show. Because they want to get people to be all-access subscribers for several years. They want to get people's money, and therefore let's drag it out as much as we can, you know. And I'm sure Patrick, you know, I bet if you, well, just like with Avengers 1, I remember when Avengers 1 came out, there was a great metric showing how much screen time each person had. Because we were all wondering how much they would have. And even though you read the metric, you're like, oh, but they all still felt really important. I'd love to see a graphic at the end of this, how many minutes of screen time Patrick Stewart had over the 10 episodes. Oh, it's a lot less than you think, because that's probably part of his contract. Like, they had to make it this big branching thing, because he can only do so much. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So and to get that weekly money out of people, they have to make this big epic story that only involves him in a certain percentage to get that much more weeks out of the plot. You know?
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad thing, just depends how it's handled.
Probably built into his contract that he needs naps every 3 hours.
I've met him, he's not that bad. He's lovely. No, it'd just be that he just would have, you know, either full working days or slightly less long working days would be his only thing, I think.
Yeah. Well.
Next plot. Right. The admiral specifically, but and we'll get into corruption later. So this admiral specifically, the beef with Picard. Is there a history there? What was the history? Are we going to delve into this anymore?
And is she going to eventually realize that she's being played by Commodore O and her come to the rescue, perhaps, and an apology to Picard or something?
Yeah, exactly. Because now that she was the one to say "F off," that's quite a big deal. You know, it's a whole plot thread. And is she just a symbol for bad Starfleet? At least wrong Starfleet, not intentionally bad, but wrong Starfleet. That's a whole thread. You know, Starfleet gone a bit rogue.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Jacobs says my mom was 83 and spry as hell. You only need to chill on old people. LOL. Yeah, well, Sylvia's grandma, her Oma, is like 85 and still going on trips all the time and very spry. Whereas my mom just passed away. So, I mean, she was a lot younger.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
Yes.
But yeah, there's a backstory here between these two because he even said to her, we haven't always seen eye to eye. Probably referring to the day he got handed in his resignation, but maybe there's more there. I don't care to see it, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. Again, this could have been a 2-episode arc, just dealing with one admiral saying no. These are strong. That's the thing. These are strong potential plot threads. They have some really good ideas. They're just burning through them very quickly, which is very interesting to see how the season's going to progress. Next arc, the Borg Grey Zone. Again, another big, what thing feels like another huge potential arc, on top of how many arcs I've already mentioned?
I don't know, I lost count.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to keep count. I should have a tally sheet.
You know what I mean? It's a lot.
I want the story of that Romulan with the mohawk. I want him to be a plot point.
Hey, we wanted Star Trek Pike. Give us Star Trek Mohawk. The story of a lowly guard raising the rank of Praetor.
Zarkon D. Grissom puts in $5. I think she is complicit in the war crime order to the fleet to not render humanitarian aid. Yeah. Yeah, I think she's obviously anti-Romulan.
Yeah.
So when she finds out Commodore O is a Romulan, or working for the Romulans, shit's going to hit the fan. And Picard warned her, so he's got the high ground. Just saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's our next plot thread, though?
Thread is the biomechanoid lady, the doctor lady. Again, whole other character, whole other arc. Her history with Maddox, her history with B4. Maybe she knows what she's laying on. Is she now a spy? Another addition to her addition, because that was already enough of a plot. Now she could be a spy as well. Even more plot threads, Stuart.
Yep. She did seem genuinely surprised when Picard came to her in the first episode, though. So I don't think she's knows a lot more than she has let on so far. But her
laughing at his face is kind of a good sign that she thinks is ridiculous.
Yeah. But her meeting with Commodore O is going to be, that's the character's arc, essentially, is that she's been put on the ship. She was told to go with Picard, keep tabs on him, report back, and it's eventually going to be, when the chips are down, she's going to be like, I'm sorry, but, I was forced to, whatever, she threatened me, whatever. Or she mind melded with me and made me do this, I don't know. So she's a good character, she's just in a shitty situation. So I'm calling her arc right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if she's the best. I think she's one of the weaker characters so far. She hasn't got that much screen presence. She just kind of comes across as just that sort of generic-y, geeky lady.
Yeah.
She's not really... she's not giving me a lot so far.
Fleet Pass Whipback puts in $1.99. Praying for 150 again at 200. We have 211 people here. We've gone up to, we were at 224. But everybody hit like. If you haven't already, just hit the like button, and please make sure you're subscribed as well. So, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, and guys, likes are generally important. 200 would be really, really great if you can. And guys, do super chat. We've been going hour and 28 now. Still some more plot threads to talk about, and as we always say, you control what we say with the super chats. If you want us to talk about something specific, that is the power you have. Dum dum dum. Next plot thread: X-Borg and their technology being removed, and or in stasis of other X-Borg. Another massive potential plot arc, which could be the entire season. And almost just the entire cube. The premise of the cube could be an entire season of story. Yeah. As a primary focus.
Yeah, and I don't know, this whole submatrix collapse separation from the Borg as well is part of that too. So that's something that I think is going to be addressed. They mentioned it a few times now, so it's going to be one of those things that shows up later.
And it'd be great if over half the stuff is connected. You know, I could never see it being connected, but I just think their way of showing us information of fast and quick with limited information on each just serves to confuse and diminish the payoffs, whereas if they were dealt more over time with stronger payoffs, you know.
Yeah. Look out, Tower Radio, 2 pounds. B4 losing Data's memory may be an excuse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think she might know more about Maddox and where he's at than she let on, but her actual reaction to Picard asking that was genuine.
What if she's Maddox's secret daughter?
Well, yeah, I could see that.
And she was forced to stay.
And that's why she's mentioned that Soji and Daj are like a miracle that she never thought she'd see in her lifetime. But there's more to it than that. Not only are they synthetic, and that it's a fulfillment of her work, but it's also I have a sister that I don't know about because she knows Maddox is her father. I would buy that.
Oh, you mean she was an android too?
No, she's an actual flesh and blood daughter.
Oh,
but if Maddox created daughters,
you mean symbolic sister, right?
Yeah. Right, so that's another reason that she's so eager to get on board and meet Soji.
Yeah. Well, it also explains why she's all like, "Oh, it's not possible." Oh, but it would be possible. Like, the swap is instant. So, if she's linking to her own knowledge of what Maddox was doing, because they're working together. But yeah, the entire Borg Cube is such a big plot. I think that'll be the MacGuffin of Season 2 and 3, of saying there are secrets on the cube you haven't revealed yet. I think that'll be the big, greater mysteries. That's my gut reaction. Like, Android is Season 1, Borg is Season 2, Season 3 is something else. You know. Then you've got Commodore O, her either Romulan or Vulcan heritage. She plays like a Vulcan, in my opinion, anyway. And yet the sunglasses imply Romulan. Says Michael Chabon. Great. But is she evil? Is she complicit? Is she a real mastermind of the whole thing? Is she super ultra Jatvast until she don't even know she is? You know, that'd be kind of a fun reveal. She's like actually all their bosses, but she's pretending not to be their bosses, that she gets more honest. I don't know what you could do with that. But her entire arc, I mean, again, one Commodore going rogue is also an entire season arc, almost. Oh, not season, but, you know.
Yeah. And Strict9 says, why would Girardi not know about the twins, but then suddenly know how they were made? Because it was theoretical how they were made based on the necklace, and that's the symbol for whatever. So that's... She knows the process, but she said it was like still 1,000 years away as far as being able to actually come to realization.
Yeah.
So I have no issue with that. That's not a stretch at all.
Well, it was only 1,000 years if you don't have datas. Like, recreating the work could take 1,000 years, but if we have the blueprint, because I mean, what's his name? Maddox. He seemed confident he could make a new one. Like, he was making ones that just weren't functional, and that's without live help with data. But yeah, and I really hope the O lady has some good stuff, because that's
yes, that could be poorly handled, but it could also be really good. So
because she's a bigger actress than almost anyone in this entire show.
Yeah,
in terms of like sci-fi cred and like name,
except for Patrick Stewart,
than almost anyone in the show. Yes. So you don't just hire that one to be a nobody. You know. Then you've got the Romulan, brother and sister subplot. Is that gonna be a thing? My dad thought there's incest there based on how they're acting. It's super sexual. It's super. There's chemistry there. That hey ho, secret Jatvast, secret romance. Go Game of Thrones on it.
Very likely. Like, I compared it to Cruel Intentions before, the relationship. I don't know if you've seen the movie Cruel Intentions, but it's a weird brother and sister. I think they might be stepbrother and sister, but they kind of have a weird vibe considering they're brother and sister. Anyway, it's got that feel to it.
That's a good cast for this film. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a good film.
It's a really big cast. Wow. Okay.
So I don't know about those two. I've lost interest in that whole part of it anyway. Narek really dropped the ball for me in the last episode as far as his character. So I'm kind of like, eh. And the woman is just, she was Starfleet, and now she's back to being a Romulan, and I just don't care for her at all. So I don't care.
I mean, I'm the opposite. I like the subterfuge stuff, but that again could be an entire season arc. You know, I prefer in the Starfleet uniform. I kind of hope she swaps between a few times, because that was a better. That was more fun. You know, to see a bit of tread both realms. If she's just because she has no function on this cube except to pull her brother away and say, "Have you done it yet? No. Have you screwed it yet? Yes. Okay, do it quicker." That's not. There's only so much you can do with that. So hopefully, maybe she'll even go out and fake being like a renegade. You know, where civilian, fake being a mercenary. If that's kind of what she does, she plays different characters. That could be fun. You know, wouldn't it be kind of cool if by episode 9 or 8 that Picard has to go recruit another bit of help, and it's her. They don't know it's her, but she's poised herself as a scientist or whatever, and they go on the crew, and you're like, oh, like, that'd be a great way of playing the I can be multiple people. That'd be great, actually.
Yeah.
And then maybe she's part of the crew into season 2, but you know that's going to be a payoff. That could be a really good payoff.
Well, look out, Terra Radio puts in £2. Commodore O could Lieutenant Valeris. Could be, I guess, is what he meant. And no. Similar as far as working behind the scenes. And Lieutenant Valeris was part Romulan. So, yeah.
I still maintain it would have been nice if the reporter would have been Cisco. Like, you can bring back old characters for sort of not bit parts, but you know, if that makes sense.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $5. Spy sibling are in-laws. The lady is lady is his late brother's wife, hence the sexual tension.
What? We love you. Moving on. All of the flashback subplot stuff with Admiral Picard being retired, forced to be retired. Is he going to fight it? Is he going to try anymore? Are we going to see him more as an admiral, or is that the only time we're going to see him in uniform, actively the entire thing as a working officer? Was that his conceit to only be, you know, in costume once? Maybe this was one of the padding scenes they added that Patrick was like, I don't want to be in uniform. Okay, fine, I'll be in uniform. This scene makes sense to be in uniform, and he did it in uniform. Maybe this was, you know, bonus added in.
And yes, look at Terra Radio. I'm aware Vulcans do live a long time as well.
Valeris could be Valeris. Would have been old,
but it's not.
But it's not. Yeah. Oh, but it would have been
Commodore V.
Cool if it was.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he actually gets, even at the end of the season or the end of the series, gets offered by Starfleet because he's, you know, made these, put these connections together, you know, found out who did the Mars attacks, all that. If they offer him maybe his commission back, it'd be interesting for the character to be like, either way, either accept it or don't, would work both equally well. Just having the redemption from Starfleet, handing him that olive branch would be very neat. Whether that's going to happen, but
because it was so much better to see him in uniform. It enhanced that scene so drastically, you know, and the fact that he leaves the vineyard. Well, he leaves the vineyard that day, saying, "I never quite felt at home here." If they're going to make him die before too long, it doesn't matter. But if he thinks mentally, I can never go back, then why wouldn't he actively say, okay, I'll rejoin for little things and bobs? If that's what he needs to do to give meaning to his life, then, yeah, you know, wear the new uniform, be part of the system again, but in your own way, you know.
I would be satisfied if he accepted the return to Starfleet or if he graciously denied it. Either way is great for the character development in different ways, and either one would work perfectly.
Because I could see the fact that he was refused one last mission in this context, the final threat in whatever season, he's been given, you get command of the Enterprise F, newly commissioned, or whatever.
Ooh, that'd be amazing to see.
And you see him go into season 3, walk onto the bridge, be Admiral Picard again, he's the most experienced person, full uniform, sits down, and he takes the fleet, start engaging. Like, that as a payoff is so strong, and that is his genuine final Starfleet mission. We know that as the audience. That is his final hurrah, but he's in full uniform. He feels professional. Like just the strength of that would be so strong, you know. Next, Hugh. Everything Hugh related. Are we going to see his backstory? Are we going to see flashbacks? I mean, being a character like this that is so interwoven into the politics of the Borg, and of the androids, and of, did he ever get back to Delta Quadrant? Who the hell knows? Whatever. They had a ship that could do transwarp. He could probably get to Delta Quadrant quite easily. That you could do 4-episode arc with Hugh as a primary. Hope he's not just there to be killed or there just to be. Oh look, it's Hugh. Like he theoretically could be one of the most driving force of a season, and he's also just thrown in. We'll see. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Get it? Anyway, so I kind of digress some $5. Hey, are you sure that is John Luke? Did he do that signature maneuver, the shirt tuck maneuver? LOL.
Well, they
not yet. He hasn't done it once. I've been very disappointed.
They fixed it for the uniform. They designed a fitted uniform properly.
They just made it more baggy, so it didn't have to look good.
Yeah.
Loose fitting.
Next, the Jat Vash itself. The fact that these Death Agent people are useless agents, completely useless. I hate introducing characters as special ops and have them be totally ineffective. Just give them at least one scene of being effective. One.
Yeah.
It's like the Death Troopers in Star Wars Rogue One. It's like they're the strongest officers. Oh, they get killed. Well, they're like nothing else. They mean nothing.
Yeah, I recommended doing a video on why are they so incompetent, but
we'll see more later. I think.
SWTX Chaser, $10. So thank you very much. Last episode, Picard offered his rank back. Dies saving CNC with Dr. Asha. CNC gives Synth a commission. She takes the name Picard and starts hunt on secret Romulans as lead into episode 2.
Sounds like you're Skywalkering it a bit there.
A little bit.
Yeah. That's good, I like that. Next, sort of back to the lady again, but are we going to see ex-Borg lady? Is she going to come back? You said probably not. Rhonda. Or is this two sisters, one death, one light fortune? Is that going to be, or is it just a throwaway lie? Like a throwaway, yes, this random Romulan can link into the cards and pick out the right card that means something, or is it just a contrived thing for one episode? You know what I mean? That could be an entire thread of maybe she's she's traveled back in time, maybe she's whatever. That could be an entire story.
Why not?
Well, with the way she asked her about the submatrix collapse, if she knew what caused it, I think she might be back. That'd be an important plot point.
I can imagine.
However,
okay.
on the other hand, I'm also thinking that we're not going to see her again. It was just look, she's a mysticist or whatever, and she's predicted the future.
I can see it being that she's brought back as the... What happened, Rhonda? What happened when you got assimilated? And maybe we even see her in full Tal Shar uniform, like Roman uniform in the ship. That could be kind of cool, being assimilated. Because it'd be really visible to see the assimilation from a first-person perspective. Like you could make that really dark scene.
Maybe that ship's mission was to, because she's Zat Vash, was to destabilize the entire Borg collective because they're synthetic, and they started getting assimilated. They launched the weapon, caused the submatrix to collapse, disconnects the cube, and therefore failed.
I like that.
Kind of contrived, but it's interesting.
Well, it's very much what happened with Icheb, but it also explained why she and the Romans are crazy, because part of it fried their brains and some of them died. I like that a lot, actually. Because especially if, the Romulans are obviously harvesting this technology, so they might have seen it as their duty to sacrifice a ship to disable it. They can't attack it, but they can send their most advanced ship to get assimilated, and then now they have, 10 years of stealing tech from it. That's great. That's so simple. It's good. Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Eric Morrison. Did anyone see Law Reloaded? He's suspicious that Angus may be a Roman spy. Any thoughts? Yes. Oh, we talked about it.
Angus. I mean Agnes, not Angus.
Yes. Oh, we talked about it. And yes, we do think so too. Managed it right then too. So,
I don't think she's a Romulan spy. I think she's a human that is now being used by Commodore O. Yeah. There's a slight difference.
Well, yes. Sorry, you're very, very right. Next plot thread, the love between Soji and Narek. The truest love between Jat Vash, racist against androids, to new androids. Ah.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Android scum.
Hope it goes nowhere. Don't care about it right now. I'm at that point where I just don't give a shit.
Do you hope it GND ends?
Yeah, goes nowhere, does nothing. Absolutely.
His pipe has that stabbed on it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's. I hope he's just manipulating her. I hope it's just, he's a good Romulan. They're playing with our emotions. Yeah. Because that was such another throw-in, Oh, here you go. Here's another plot point. I could buy it if they'd known each other for months. This was like if this was episode 8, and she's unraveling, and he's been there the entire time, and she's like, I fall in love with you. She's like, and that pulls her out of something. That's great. Not there. Not then. If I was re-editing this episode, I think I've already mentioned doing maybe like a re-edit of the 3 into 2, I'd just remove him saying that, flat out. Just wouldn't have it in the episode.
Well, I think I might play on later, because even his sister says, don't fall in love.
I'll take that too.
So it's kind of like, I know, but it's kind of like foreshadowing, like, at the last minute, he's going to realize he has feelings for her and help her. Like, please don't do that.
And that's what I mean
just
about
don't.
Another plot line.
Just don't do it.
Have I got any more? Oh, yes! Brent Bloody Spiner as Data Hallucination / Prophecy, which we've already forgotten about from episode 1.
Well, like we said, we were hoping that there's more Data flashbacks or dreams. Even him talking to Soji in a dream would be fantastic. Hard to say. We've even talked about Maddox perhaps eventually creating a synth organic Data to kind of complete his goal of becoming human. So it's not going to happen, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Oh yeah, the whole Daj. Why was she on Earth? Was Data important? Or are we going to ever go back to who, what, why she was there? Because whatever program she had, let her have a boyfriend, let her meet somebody, or was he just there? Was he just to be used? I mean, again, this is another entire subplot that you could spend an entire season on.
Yeah, I'm not going to hear anything about him for sure.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
And so ends my plot threads I pre-got. So that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So yeah, over 20. And I also missed one of old ex, so I keep forgetting her name, drinking. So is her addiction going to be a plot point?
Yes.
Is she going to get to a situation where she can barely do a hand because she's so high? Because that's great Star Trek. But that's a whole, making her a drug addict should be a narrative thing, otherwise why make her a drug addict? That's a terrible thing to be. She's got to now overcome that as part of the storyline. That's a plot point, surely. So yeah,
so many things for them to wrap up in 10 episodes, and we're already 3 deep, and they just keep bringing up more questions than answers. I'm just afraid it's going to snowball at the end and be like a whole bunch of answers. Oh, we missed those few. Never mind, nobody will notice.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Is 10 enough for Picard? That's the main question of this live. Now we've pointed out all the plot points and things that they've introduced and need to finish up. What do you guys think? Do we know what she was smoking? Yes, she was smoking dragon leaf or snake leaf. Mm-hmm. Snake leaf is what it was called. She said it induces paranoia. So
great times.
Yes. Was it K White? Catch yourself late. Yeah.
Well, that'd be a weird reference, but something. Who knows what it does to Jem'Hadar? Sure, be interesting. So, guys, a lot of plots. 3 episodes in. Some are tremendously interesting. Some tremendously wasteful. So many that could be multiple season. They're definitely blowing their loads, unless there is even more. And they're just sort of lazy at... Because they might have just been throwing stuff at a wall and say, what sticks? Wait, most of it? Ooh, let's do most of it. You know, kind of like Rise of Skywalker in a sense. But guys, now is your chance to put your final thoughts in. We're going to go another 5 or 6 minutes. So if we can get another $20 in the final few minutes, if 4 people have $5 each in them, give us a comment question. We'll talk about it. That would be great. It's been pretty good today. A lot of viewers. 219. We're at 192 likes. I want to see 200. I feel like that's a good place to be. So 200 likes. But Stuart, to answer the final question, is 10 episodes really enough for Star Trek Picard?
No. That's my simple answer. Need at least 13 or 15. I would love to see a full episodic season again of 26 episodes, but we're not going to ever get that. So I would like a few more. That's for sure.
Or what you could have done is very distinctly built 22 episodes in 4 episode arcs. And then you basically got 4 2-hour movies. Because that was kind of what this was pitched as vaguely, but it's clearly not worked out that way because that was a poor movie. Like people say that was the pilot, but that wasn't a well-paced pilot.
That's the first in a trilogy.
Yeah. It's like that wasn't it was a better pilot than some, but the pilots were all pretty bad. But they were at least very focused. You know, DS9, for how bad I think the pilot is, it's pretty focused. You know? It knows what it's trying to do. TNG is just a weak story with a great story wrapped in a weak story. Voyager is a good premise wrapped inside weak set design and sort of lackluster aliens. If they were Klingons, it'd be a lot better. But Klingons light. Enterprise is a really interesting story wrapped around vanilla characters and vanilla scenes with vanilla dialogue. And TOS is just a good pilot with some janky costume variations. As in the second pilot, the actual pilot we got.
Zarkon Degrist of No Throws in $5. Prediction for the title of episode 10, The Rise of Picard. Plot twist, Picard is dead before episode 10. I
love it. Not the second bit, but I love that.
He's going to die, and then Q's going to infuse him with some nanites, and he's going to come back. And not look cutest-like, but, you know.
De-aged, you know. Haven't looked 15 years younger again. Do de-age you to the point where you can make it look realistic. Yeah. No, it's... Oh, dear.
Andrew Reynolds says the new Picard book came out today, The Last Best Hope. Anyone heard anything of it? I knew it was coming out, but I have not gone to get it or anything. So
I'm going to take it with as much excitement as we had for the first Discovery novel, which then got decanonized. I mean, it's not really canon, but delegitimized as soon as the show came out.
Yep.
So, and I was reading it, and I was listening to it while I was at the gym, and it was okay. It was okay, you know. It was a sort of good idea. It was a very, very long, drawn out way of doing the story. It was over long for what it needed to be. And they wanted to make Giorgio look much better. They made Pike look really bad, and not at all like he was in, you know, 2 years later.
Yeah.
So it was, it wasn't. It was okay. It was fine. I mean, I've read a lot of Star Trek books, and I'm like, oh god, why couldn't they make Shatner's series of novels into some books?
Or Ships of the Line. Ships of the Line, the novel is fantastically done.
The Enterprise E gets hijacked. That's great.
Yeah,
it's great, and Scotty's there, and it's a lot of fun. That one I've listened to that a few times.
And so is the captain of the Bozeman. Can't remember his name, right?
Fraser.
Kelsey Grammer. Yeah. Eugene puts in 250 rubles.
Thank you.
Hugh, how are you? Picard. Locutus. Locutus who?
It means who are you?
Locutus
who are you?
The cutest Skywalker.
That's funny.
I am the cutest of Borg.
Oh.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99, paying for 200. Great live, man. 10 is not enough.
No.
And Jarzy up, it's in $5. Only show I know doing 20 episode seasons now is Vikings. These focus arts don't leave room for great episodic stories like Duet, Jetrel, or Relics.
Yeah.
Captain Bateson, that's it. Thank you. The Starship Bozeman.
Because if the money's on screen, you know, but if it doesn't feel like it's on screen, I don't know. Because even the almost all of the effects space-wise we've got have been the exact same shots of Planitia. You know, it's like, and none of them are particularly intricate. They're all relatively easy. You know, I think they kind of wanted to go futuristic with having lots of hologrammy sci-fi things and like sort of burn through the budget in the small things, not really want to do the big things. I don't know. Yeah.
How does one get permission to park their home in Vasquez Rocks, which is a park? That's a good question.
Well, we assume the travel board was destroyed because all of the skyscrapers around it, all the buildings around it don't exist anymore. There are now mountains there. So whatever happened to completely destroy the local city or local, things, because we see a big shot, and as you said before, that's not how it looks today. So obviously something happens to the area. So deparkanized. Yeah. But I mean, I'm excited for the next episode. We're gonna do predictions tomorrow, maybe a short live. We'll see. We haven't decided yet. Still debating. But the next episode is kind of like resetting again. It's like, and now we're going.
Yes.
What can happen? Well, anything or nothing. I mean,
it'll feel episodic because we'll go do the mission on Free Cloud, and then we're going to end up in the vineyard again. So it'll be like, hey, this was an episode.
Yep. Great. Although we know the next two are Frakes directed.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Good to know.
Although I could have sworn they announced that. Oh, it doesn't matter. But yeah, they obviously moved him from. Because they went to do it in chunks of 2 episodes each. There's so few episodes, but that makes sense because they shifted to 3. So he's the next 2. So yeah, I mean, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And Zeraxis puts in $5. We seem to have reached the point where anime seasons on average have more episodes than regular TV. Either way, Picard should have been 15 episodes minimum.
Yep.
Yes.
I think 15 would have been one of the strongest numbers, like 3-act structure. Go. And they give 40 minutes then. I would give them 40 minutes. The fact that these aren't 50 minutes is shocking. That was really weird to plug in. This brand new expensive movie making, and they're as short as they were in TNG with 1/4 the budget and made 6 times as many episodes in a year. Or 3 times, whatever. It's shocking.
Because CBS did their research and realized that all the new generation, the ones that this show's supposedly for, drawing in the new people, they all have the attention span of gnats because of their phones. We get instant gratification, and nobody can watch anything for more than 5 minutes at a time.
But they all relate to a drug addict who vapes.
Exactly. Vaping's cool, man.
But they're also going to fill it with references that no one's going to get unless you're a Trek fan. Who's this show for, sorry?
We don't know. It's for Alex Kurtzman and his buddies.
Yeah. But it's definitely better than Discovery so far.
So far, yes. Look out, Tower Radio, £2. Should have made Martin Madden the true number 1.
What?
I don't know.
Martin Madden.
Look it up.
Rugby player in Wales. Okay, cool. He's 46 currently. But who wants to be the last super chat? Oh, and Tangerine. See, Tangerine brings up Lost in Space. Lost in Space are near a full hour each, 58 minutes sometimes, and they're incredibly strong single episodes.
Yeah.
This series don't go where you think they're gonna go. The last season 2 was very different. Season 1, that's kind of good. But season 2, they had to leave a planet for 4 episodes, and they there's parts of the series and there's a single episode objective that captures. And that feels effing expensive. That feels like it's expensive. The sets are gorgeous, the film is gorgeous, the VFX are absolutely movie quality, and these are okay. Like that, that is so much better than this show, and the acting's better as well. I'll be honest, and it's very focused even. Yeah, Lost in Space. Have you seen Lost in Space yet?
No.
God, it's so much better than especially Discovery. It's amazing. You put those two shows side by side. It's like same year. Holy shit! One is made for the JoJo audience. One is made for sci-fi fans. And it's just like holy shit, the writing.
Well, Jarzia throws in $2 Canadian. Says Madden was the EXO after Riker and Nemesis deleted scene, and then Zeraxis is the winner of the last Super.
There we go. Always great when it goes away. What?
I don't know. What was the last thing you heard?
Zerax is the last Super.
Oh, it's $5.
Sorry.
Low attention span, maybe, but that should mean more episodes, not less. Formulaic episodic shows work better in this era, not worse. But that costs more. I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. That's
but
a great point. That's a great point. Well made.
Anywho, you forgot. No, you didn't forget it. Never mind.
Okay.
You forgot the 7 and 9 plot point, but that's not introduced yet.
Yeah, there's still more to come, guys. Like Legolas, he's still yet to come. And
oh, shit.
On
that note, let's call it quits for today. Thank you for watching, guys.
Thanks, everyone. This has been a fun one. Lots of good.
Been a good conversation. Better than I anticipated, and longer than I anticipated as well. So that's good.
Which are good, and we're definitely looking forward to this Friday's full big review. They normally go 2.5 to 3 hours, and they are big and filled and excellent. And do go watch our sub videos released at least once a day, if not twice a day. This week once a day because this episode's less in it. But do go back and have a look. Today we released our nice edited condensed thoughts on Captain Rios. Please do go look at that. If you like it, share, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Otherwise it's hard to make them if you don't watch them. So please watch them.
And hit the like button on this video and all of our videos
that you like watch. Us. I think they do. And we like you. We would click your like button. That sounds dirty if we could.
Click the like button.
We'll see you soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye.